It's a Down Beach Buzz podcast for June 5, 2026 with Sherri Lilienfeld of eXp Realty and pinch hitting for Paul Scolledge of Rate.com. It's Jamie Silva. Are you ready for the podcast, Jamie? There you go. Got the t-shirt going on. Because I wanted to be very high tech with you right now, Jamie, if I could, and Miss Lilienfeld, both known to be very big internet entrepreneurs, if you will. I asked ChatGPT some questions. And I asked ChatGPT, for an upcoming podcast, what questions should I ask a New Jersey mortgage guy? Pretty good question, right? Here we go. How did you get into the mortgage business, and why in God's name did you do that?
Because I'm crazy.
Jamie Silva, what has changed the most in New Jersey real estate over the last 5 years?
I think AI. Probably AI. It's a new technology that's coming in. It's scaring a lot of people. Doesn't scare us because we're staying in front of it. And I think that's going to be a challenge for the future as far as those who don't get with the program, don't utilize the technology. And it's going to be a tremendous benefit for those that hop on board and grab hold of the AI technology and use it to their advantage.
What's the most common uses, case studies that you see real estate folks and mortgage folks? How do they use AI technology?
Yeah, what we just started doing is to kind of eliminate the tedious tasks that mortgage loan originators and their counterparts, the colleagues, do as far as like analyzing income. We have technology right now where I can take tax returns. I can take the last 2 years of tax returns, dump them into my system, and within under an hour or so, sometimes less, it will spit out the monthly income for me, where that tedious tasks of reviewing every single page is over. We also have technology, whereas I can have AI reach out to some of the clients on my behalf and start that conversation with them to try to see if they are ready for perhaps a refinance opportunity, if they wanted to talk to me, if there's any questions or concerns that came up with their recent closing. Again, this allows me to keep more time open on my side instead of like handling these like time-consuming tasks. Now I have the technology to handle it for me.
And how about you, Sherri Lilienfeld? How do you see other realtors and maybe yourself? How do you guys use AI at this point in time?
So we're not quite as sophisticated as what they do, where they're actually doing their work. But like sometimes you'll use AI to like write a property description. Like you'll write the basics and then it'll make it sound, really polished. And that's actually a word, a word that a command you give to AI, like polish this up. Sometimes, and obviously they use AI to do staging a place. I mean, that is AI, where you have a picture of a place and they stage it with furniture for your pictures. Interesting, like I work with homes.com and they have AI where you can talk to the AI assistant and say what you're looking for. And then homes.com has AI like doing the search for you. And they're like, well, what about these homes? And it actually like narrows it down.
Once again, I'm using ChatGPT for this podcast to question Mr. Silva and Miss Lilienfeld. So are people finally adjusting to the somewhat higher rates? And do you think these rates will drop significantly this year? Jamie Silva.
Yeah, so it's funny you mentioned that. We're looking for one rate cut as of today. It just came out about an hour ago. We anticipate one rate cut. We have a new Fed chair that just stepped in about a week ago. I tell people waiting never is a solution for a good strategy, because the property values continue to go up. Like the rates are what the rates are. Obviously, the war in Iran is not helping things at all. Rates were really attractive the very last week of February. Then we declared war. I actually set up that weekend multiple refinances because I knew come Monday they were going to go up, and sure enough, they did. I think Paul's probably mentioned to you before, but listen, the days of the 1.9% interest rates that my company was giving out during COVID, I mean, they're gone, right? This is the new normal, right? The average national went down a little bit this week versus last week, but look, it's still elevated, right? The bottom line is this: they've been going up since the war started the end of February, right? Even though they go down a little bit, they're still elevated. It is what it is, And I am not seeing it on my side a lack of doing business. Like, we are extremely busy. Our team, the Paul's College team, we closed on 67 transactions in May. So we are extremely busy. We've kind of been nonstop. I've been busy since this time last year, even during the slow period from roughly like Halloween to like the New Year's was generally slow. We were still very busy. So I think the public is kind of like accepting the fact that rates are what they are. Can't wait forever. I mean, COVID was a long time ago, right?
What mistakes are buyers making while waiting for rates to fall? Or is refinancing still part of the strategy for buyers today?
Where they're failing is waiting. Again, like I said a minute ago, prices continue to go up. If we were talking in Florida, this is a different type of topic. You know, this is basically a supply and demand issue. Okay. Supply is still low. Demand is still high. Prices are elevated. It just is what it is. I know two people right off the top of my head. I save them over $500 a month. I mean, I call that no brainer, you know, where I closed the one at 6.99% and I got that kid into like 4.75, you know? So he saved a ton of money. He's like, well, where would be the problem with this? I go, the problem is you're not moving forward. But I just give them the info. You know what I mean? Like, that's like, and I set up this one guy, I think 3 separate times for a refinance. And I'm just giving you guys the information. You make whatever decision you want to make. We are not pushy car salesmen, but here it is laid out on paper, what you're going to save, you know, a month and a year and that sort of stuff. And once they see it on paper, it's easier for them to understand.
All right, Jamie Silva of Rate.com, pitch hitting for Paul Scollage of Rate.com, and Sherri Lilienfeld, she's here from eXp Realty. Some ChatGPT questions for you. I'm going to go down the whole list here. How do New Jersey property taxes affect mortgage approvals? And the second one, are shore towns different from inland New Jersey markets? What areas in South Jersey are heating up? This is what ChatGPT thinks is a common question. How does Atlantic County compare to Jersey, North Jersey, I should say? Are people still moving out of New Jersey? And maybe we'll start with this question both for Sherri and Mr. Silva. What's happening with second homes near the shore in terms of buying, selling, and how do mortgage rates affect Jersey Shore, seashore homes? We'll start with Jamie first.
Listen, I'm your average Joe. I can't afford a place on the beach in Florida, but I can afford a place 10, 15 minutes away from the beach in Florida. I'm comfortable going ahead and driving 10, 15 minutes down to Florida to get to the beach. Same what's happening here. Generally speaking, your average Joe can be priced out of the market on those sides of the bridges, you know, where your Margate, your Longport, all those sort of things, right? So what we're seeing is that the inland side of the bridges, now people are utilizing them as second homes with that same mindset. Hey, I'm cool with just driving 10, 15 minutes to the beach. So I'm seeing, me personally, we're seeing a lot of second homes on this side of the bridge. And the good news, and good thing you have me on today, is that our second home rates are absolutely kill it in the second home market. It was almost 2 percentage points under the competition. We are absolutely killing it in the second market. We have over 40 investors that we deal with. We give them so much business that they return the favor with these nice, sweet and juicy rates.
The investors are driving a lot of our market. We talked earlier about how the developers are driving the pricing of our home. Most of the houses are spec homes from developers, but then you also have the investors who, looking for the Airbnb. They are driving the pricing. I don't see it affecting the pricing negatively. I actually see it affecting the pricing positively.
The really important thing I want the listeners to understand, when people call me up on the phone, they'll say, what's the rate today? I'm like, I don't know, right? There is not a one size fits all rate for everyone. Now, I literally could show you maybe on the screen or whatever. There's probably 13 or 14 different boxes that we check off. Credit score is, like you said a minute ago, a big factor, right? Occupancy type. Is this your primary residence? Is this an investment property? Is this a second home? What is the loan to value? What that means is the percentage down. So by way of example, an 80 loan to value would be 20% down. I can tell you that for our second home products, we can do as little as 10% down. For investment properties, you can do as little as 20%, but you're going to get a better rate at 25%. All these factors influence rate, but like you said a minute ago, credit score is very, very important. They fall into different buckets that we discuss. Paul's probably brought that up to you. The higher your credit, generally speaking, the better the rate, Well, but it's not it's not to be frowned upon for those with challenging credit. By way of example, those that have challenging credit, we can get into FHA type of loan products, and FHA tends to come with very good rates, including some of the FHA 5-year ARM products, which I've done so many of, I can't even count. So what I will do is I can price it out on one sheet for someone. Here's what a 30-year fix looks like. Here's what a 5-year ARM looks like. Here's what a 7-year ARM looks like. Here's the cost savings in the 5 years, in the 7 years versus the 30-year fix. But I need to understand what the goal is. I always ask people in the beginning, what is your goal? Oh, I'm only going to stay here for 2 years. Oh, wow. ARM product's going to be perfect for you. I want to buy this house. I never want to move again. Okay, let's talk about that. But there's also the element of, let's think about where we are with rates, right? So if we're elevated with rates. I talked about that a few minutes ago. If we anticipate a good refinance opportunity within the next 5 years, which I do believe we are going to see that, why should we spend the money on a 30-year fixed and maybe perhaps go down that 5 or 7-year ARM product instead? But there are people out there that get nervous and concerned, and they don't want to take that risk. So we'll put them we will put them in whatever product that works best for them.
We just got a quick fax here. It's from a guy, Paul Z, and he says, please have Jamie show off his cool T-shirt. What's his problem?
All right, rate.com.
That's from Paul Z. I don't know who that might be.
Established 2000. So we're 26 years in business. We're one of the largest real mortgage companies in the entire country. I tell people, this is not Jamie's Corner Loans for You store. This is a highly sophisticated operation. We have 14 people on our team. There's 5 loan originators. Paul and I are 2 of the 5. The other people help us out with the processing. We have someone that handles marketing. We are very, very, very good at what we do. We're very fast.
What's more important right now, the rate or the price of a home?
Well, that would go to the borrower. I mean, so some people call me up and they'll say, hey, I'm shopping for rates. Is that the most important thing, or do you want to get into the house? So if some people find it like this is the home of their dreams, like, well, perhaps you should make an offer that's going to reflect that, because if you lose this house, and this is where Sherri would step in as the realtor, like if you're going to lose this house over, $5,000, I can show you what that looks like over the course of 30 years. It's so like, oh my, wow, but the rate and all this, well, do you want to move today or when do you want to move? You got kids are going to start school in September. Like these are all like the family things that come into play, right? And I also have clients that have waited for a long time paying rent, and they're going to pay $2,200 a month for the next year, plus the 2-month security deposit. Like that, your landlord loves you, right? So, but you're not building equity for yourself. You're just throwing that money out the window. So again, like I never think it's a bad time to buy. You are now developing wealth for yourself versus somebody else. But I think Sherri could step in, right? As well as talking about the benefits of like, if you want the house, hey, and I practice what I preach. I bought my house. I offered them $5,000 more than what they were asking. And I've been in my house over 20 years. I'm in the business, but I really like it here, right? I didn't want to lose my home at the time. And $5,000, 20 years ago, it's completely irrelevant.
Right.
Sherri, do you have a client in the past that blew it because they didn't want to really offer a little bit above asking? Do you have anybody that regrets not buying the house of their dreams because the rate wasn't just right?
Well, of course. And remember, I'm in a second home market. My buyers are very successful business people, right? And they're always great negotiators, and they always like to overthink their strategy, and they're waiting for the market to come down. Like it's not coming down. The short market, I've said this before, it's never going to pre-pandemic numbers. That's never happening. Okay. Now the biggest downturn I've seen in a short market was maybe 8 to 10%, when it did plateau. It's not going to our homes have doubled and tripled. Like that's not happening. But anyway, to your point, you see the house, you like it, you're going to be there, you're going to enjoy it for years. Just go for it. And I can't even begin to tell you how much it appreciated. And I'm sure she never thinks about that $5,000.
Jamie Silva of rate.com, pinch hitting for Paul Skolage.
Listen, if anyone's just curious about what numbers look like, I'm available 7 days a week. I don't do that. I'm available 24/7 because I do go to bed at like 9:30. When anyone ever says 24/7, I do not believe them. So I'm not going to tell you that, but I am available 7 days a week. And just, it's important to set up a file now, because what happens is, if someone's playing on their phone and they'll go on Zillow or they'll talk to Sherri and Sherri will send them a listing. It's important to get the file set up now. The files are good for 6 months. And at the end of 6 months, I'll just make a new file, right? But at least you're set and ready to go, because it is a competitive market. If you wait to, I want to put an offer in on that house, they haven't even spoke to, Jamie Silva yet, you might lose out on that house because you kind of waited to even set up the mortgage file. It takes 10 minutes at most to fill out the application. I'll set it all up for them, let them know what the numbers look like. And there's a house that they're interested in. I was like, hey, this is what it looks like. 3% down, 5% down, whatever. And people are like, oh, wow, that's cool. That's great. So we're ready to go with a fresh pre-approval. We can put an offer in. So that's my recommendation, to reach out. We'll set a mortgage file up for you. It doesn't cost anything. There's no negative impact whatsoever to the credit score. And that way you are ready to go when you see the house that you want to put an offer in.